Welcome to Photo Video Nerd Talk, Montrose Photography, Johnny Lee right here, and today we're talking about ways to separate the subject from the background. Okay, so there are several ways to separate the foreground from the background. Today we're going to talk about just a few. One is going to be light to dark, or lightness values. Another is contrasting color. Another is your f-stop, or creating a shallow depth of field. And the last is a hair or backlight, or separation light, as they're sometimes called. So let's get into light versus dark. What do we have in this frame? We have my face, which is light, and the background, which other than the little practical here, is dark. Now, what would happen if I lit the background more? Let's find out. Okay, so now we've lit the background more to where it's almost even with my face. And you can tell it's kind of, the color's a little off, it's kind of green. But you can see it's not, I don't have quite as much separation, even though I still have a little bit of a hair light going on. I just don't have the same level of separation. So one way is getting light on your subject, but not on your background. Whew. Okay, way number two. Now, contrasting colors. Okay, so in this shot, again, we have a little bit of a blue, left, right. This side, see how you have a little bit of a blue tint in our shadows here compared to the kind of orangey colors on my face. So I've got kind of an orangey look here. Now, granted, we do have the orange practical light right here, but that's not the key for what's lighting the background. Everything in the background is kind of falling into a light blue color. Okay, that is key. We have contrasting colors between the blue and the orange and skin tones. It doesn't really matter what color your skin is, it will still fall somewhere in the orangish spectrum. So that's why in Hollywood they often use blue in the shadows or in the backgrounds to contrast against the orange on people's faces. So another way to separate subject from the background, contrasting colors. Our next way of separating the subject from the background is with your f-stop, creating a shallow depth of field with your aperture. So right now I'm shooting at f2.8, which is wide open on this particular lens. Now, as I shut the iris down to a smaller value, the depth of field will actually increase, which creates less background blur. Blurrier the background versus the sharpness of me is better for creating subject separation, for creating isolation, for showing me as being like, ooh, look at me. So let's do that right now. Let's crank this thing up to, let's go, can we do F11? No, let's do F8. I think F11 might be too dark. Okay, so now, obviously it's grainier because it's darker. But see, everything in the background is almost in focus. If I'd have gone one more, let's see if I can go one more. Yeah, it's really dark. But see, everything in the background is just as in focus as I am, pretty much. So there's no separation. I don't stand out at all anymore. This is not what we want. That's why, when we're trying to do this, voila! Background blurry, me sharp. So, using your f-stop is the next way to the next way to create subject separation. Okay, our last way that we're going to discuss, oops, sorry, don't want to kill the headphone wearers. So the last way we're going to discuss separating the subject from the background is a hair light or backlight. So right now, I don't know if you can see, there's a little bit of light that's just hitting right here. See that? It's hitting the edge of the chair right here as well. So just a little slice of light. What happens if I turn that off? Okay, so I have turned off the practical. I'm still getting a little bit from the practical here. I might kill it too just for the effect. Okay, so now I killed the practical too just because it was casting in a tiniest bit of a light, but there's actually a light up over there. Anyhow, now this no longer has that same level of separation. Like the background isn't quite dark enough, but you see right here in the dark area where my hair is a very similar color to the background and it almost blends in. We don't want that. So that's why we have just a little bit of a hair light here. Just enough to give me just a little fill right here, set me off the background. And those are, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4 ways to separate the subject from the background. Now, I'm hoping you'll like this video. Give us a subscribe, stick around. Hopefully we're going to put some more videos like this. A little bit of nerdy photo video talk. I'm hoping to have other people come and join me on this set so we can actually discuss topics like this and how we might use different features and different things in different ways. So if you'd like that, stick around. Montrose Photography, Johnny Lee, and Photo Nerd Doc.